So today's episode of Halo is the Fall of Reach, and it is a big action balls to the wall episode. All of the budget that we saved in the 3 episodes previous by milling about, talking about nothing happening, that budget was spent on this episode having a lot of action scenes in it. We got a lot of CGI creatures, we got the Covenant attacking Reach, and it's a lot of deaths. It's supposed to be an epic episode, and as a result of that, by process of elimination, it is the best episode of the series so far. There's not a lot of competition there, so that's my feeling on this episode. I like the action scenes in general. CGI is pretty solid. Get to see explosions, a gun shooting off. There's a lot of big deaths in this episode. So overall, most of the time I enjoyed watching it. There's a lot of things that pissed me off as a Halo fan. The most important of them is that they specifically make sure that the Spartans can't get in their actual suits for this episode. And it's because they want to show the emotions on the faces of the actors. But they didn't do any of the work to make us actually care about any of these characters. So really, they forget the cool factor. Like, the suits are cool. Is it so much to ask that in a Halo show, we have them in their suits? It's really not a lot to ask, and I'm a huge Halo fan, and that's the only perspective that I can really have on this show, is what I want to see from a Halo property. But I don't think this show, as a story, really fits together even on its own. But you can watch this episode, and it's cool enough, and there's big deaths, and lots of things happening, explosions, all that, like I said. But overall, I think when you pick the story down, it still falls flat. You know, we still had all the things last week with the Onis. They're gonna let the Reach fall. They're gonna let everybody die, and UNSC is actually evil, and all this stupid stuff is still a thing. It's not as impactful in this episode because we have a lot going on. So that is my overall feeling on this episode. There's a lot of subplots that we don't need. Soren is a subplot. Just falls completely flat in this episode, but thankfully, with all the action going on, we don't have time for Quana and all this stuff that nobody cares about, but I'm sure we'll get back to that next week. But anyways, we're gonna break into the breakdown here. So we start off with a scene of this Spartan whose name I don't remember. So they want us to have the big emotional thing at the end where, spoiler alert, full spoilers, he dies at the end of the episode. And at first I'm like, why is this scene in here? It's so stupid. We just got the big explosion at the end of last episode. We know what's going on. We should just start where we left off. Why do we need him feeding pigeons? They're trying to get us, they're doing too little too late trying to get us to care about this character. And I don't even remember his name, so it didn't work. But anyways, then we break into an explosion scene, and they spend a lot of money here, and you could probably nitpick some of the CGI, but I think it's overall pretty solid, especially by TV standards, so I'm not going to complain about any of that. We got Perez here. Perez is the normal Marine. So the one thing about the Halo adaptations, I've always said, like, if you're going to make it into a movie, you have to make a lot of normal people that are in the cast as well, because Chief realistically is never going to be in danger. And they actually addressed that in dialogue in this. I actually liked those dialogue scenes. Most of the dialogue at this beginning part of the episode is just nonsense. There's one part in a storefront we'll get to in a second, but there's some solid stuff with Chief in this episode. I actually appreciate the writing. One thing, you want to have main characters that are normal humans because they can actually die. Chief can't die, we know that. So we have to have people that we, in theory, care about. I don't necessarily care about Perez, but you have to feel for, she just lost her family. Chief's trying to get her to move forward and keep going on. So that's good enough. It's a solid attempt. If they did more in previous episodes to make me care about Perez, maybe I would be getting there, but it's better than nothing. It's fine. And here we got to see that completely falls flat, okay? There's this big tension. Soren, he hates Halsey, and he gets in a room with Halsey, and he just talks about how he's always fantasized about being in a room with Halsey, and both of these actors seem like they don't want to be here. It's like, he's just like, completely checked out, phoned in performance, in my opinion. There's like no emotion in this guy Soren this entire episode. And I guess they want him to be this, comic relief character. But in general, in this episode, he just comes off as like aloof and like he should be desperate to get back to his family. Like this guy should be more than just a blank slate right now. But all the scenes with him just kind of fall flat. And Halsey too. Even once they realize they're under attack, it's just whatever. And then the simulation goes away, and then Soren leaves, and Halsey's like, "You got to that you might die going out there." It's like, okay, I don't know. I guess you could have thrown something at it to see if it's the force field is still there. I don't know. Those scenes don't work. And then we got Perez crying about her family. Fair enough, but at this point, I kind of just want to keep moving on. So it's fine, but I'm just like, let's move on. And I know why they're doing it. It's TV, right? You can't have full action. Like, this is a lot of money to spend on one episode. I understand you got to stall with dialogue. At this point, it's just like the pacing is weird, but it's fine, really. I love this part, okay? So I do hate that Chief is not in his armor, and of course they have the whole thing of like, Ackerson took the fucking armor, so he never gets... I was like, please at least have him in armor by the end of the episode. But I guess they're doing it so that you can see the emotions, like I said, but also so in this scene you can feel like he's in a little bit more danger. But I love the fist fight with the elite, and he's getting thrown through windows, and the brutality of it is nice. So, and the people getting killed in the streets, I like that part. It's pretty cool. If you're a Halo fan, I mean, it's hard not to like that. The only thing that would make it cooler is if he was actually in his armor, of course, but I'm repeating myself. Now we're with Perez and Chief in the storefront, and this first part, I really like this dialogue here. So don't just say, oh, he just wants action, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even really that much of an action guy. I mean, that's what I want in a Halo show, for sure. But in general, I'm a drama guy. If you check out most of my reviews, that's the kind of stuff I tend to fixate on more, is I don't... Big action scenes, blockbuster movies, I'm more of an indie, artsy-fartsy type of guy. So, in general, those are my tastes. So, this scene right here is to appeal to people like me. But this scene right here, he's talking about how Halsey met him as a kid, and he flipped the coin. I'm pretty sure this is from the lore directly. He doesn't guess the right thing by coincidence. He knows what the coin is going to end up on. And he knows he's going to make it out. That's how he's so calm. And, Perez says it must be nice, and he's like, no, it's actually a burden. So I think that's a great little scene right there. And then we get into the worst part of the episode. So annoying. I'm just like, can we move on? This lady's like talking about her stuff, and Chief, can you put this typewriter up here? Are you kidding me, dude? You're gonna die. Instead, she's like, oh, but stuff is really important. These are all antiques. Oh, wow. It's the history of the things. If people don't care about the history, but blah, blah, blah. You're gonna die. I don't care. Your life should be more important to you than a typewriter. I get it. History matters. I'm all for that. That's great. It's really obnoxious in this scene, dude. I hate it. I was hoping the lady would get, like, skewered by an energy sword, and that's how the scene would end, but it just kept going on. And and now we're with Soren and Halsey, and now we find out that there was actually Halsey let him go after he had an accident, and Chief had to, like, look up to himself and not Soren, because Soren was weak now, and he thinks he escaped, but it was actually a setup. It's like, oh my God. Whatever, dude. I don't care. I hate that storyline. This is another great scene here. So we got a bunch of explosions. We got ships overhead. The Oni guys are leaving. The audio mixing, I think a lot of people are going to say here that the audio mixing, I couldn't hear what they were saying. I usually don't watch stuff with subtitles. So in this part, I thought it was actually great mixing, because that's what a battle would sound like. So I actually think a lot of normie viewers are going to be like, I hate that I couldn't hear what they were saying. I like it. So that's just probably separating me from how most people are going to feel about this scene. But I like the shooting, but we got this blind guy in here, right? And I like the actor, and then his loved one dies in this scene, blah blah. It makes no sense. He's got a rocket launcher on him, and I'm sorry, you don't want this guy in a firefight. Okay, what if he hits the wrong thing? Like, I know he's got echolocation. He can hear what it's so loud that there's bullets flying every which way, and maybe somebody runs out of bullets. They pick up a Covenant weapon, and starts to shoot a plasma rifle. This dude's gonna think that he's their Covenant, and he's gonna shoot him. You don't want no, it's stupid. No. And he blows up some elites and stuff. I do like the elites exploding. Now, as a Halo fan, I would have liked to see, or hear rather, the actual game sounds. I don't know why they wouldn't. I guess it's just not up to the quality standards. Maybe I don't know. Can we? Why can't we get just the normal sounds? That's a small nitpick. But even like the weapons look good. Like the battle rifles are there, but they're not burst fire and they don't sound right. So just like visually, surface level, it looks fine. But then when you think about it a little more as a Halo fan, you're like, why didn't we just... The other sounds are better. They're just better. The video game sounds are better. And that's just how I feel about it. So the one thing with this, how they shoot these action scenes that I do appreciate is a lot of these scenes are shooting as oneers. And what in the film business we call it a oneer. What that means is that the scene is done in one shot, more or less. Sometimes you'll shoot what's called coverage, just in case you gotta cut stuff out and you need to force stuff to be together. But a lot of the scenes are staged such that they appear to be one shot. That's the concept. Now, a lot of times it's really obvious when they cut between different shots. You'll want to have like them pass in front of somebody, and then you'll use that as a transition point. You'll actually cut the camera and then have a different shot, because these are long staged scenes. It takes a long time to shoot it. The longer that you go without cutting the camera, the more complicated it is, the more likely things are going to go wrong. So you stage the scene such that you can hide cuts. The hidden cuts are very obvious in this. They really just zoom in on something and then zoom back. And maybe most people wouldn't pick up on that, but it's something I definitely did. But I appreciate the attempt. You know, it's just a little bit forced. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I love like Birdman, the movie Birdman, The Revenant, stuff like that. A lot of those movies have long takes in them, and it's something I always really like to see. I'm a sucker for it. This part in the building was awesome, shooting the elites with the swords, and then Chief throws a grenade. It's so cool. And then we got our first death of the episode, and again, there's just no impact because we didn't really care. And then, you know, the boyfriend of it, this guy, I think he dies here as well. He sacrifices himself and all that. And he shoots, we see a Wraith here. Seeing some of the vehicles is really cool. So we got a Wraith here, and then he shoots it. And, you know, I already talked about the blind thing, but whatever. I respect that he wants to be there to help, but I think he could probably hurt some people without meaning to. But, you know, whatever. So now we're with Halsey, and we find Cortana. And then, of course, McKee and the Arbiter, we're just going to call him the Arbiter, are there. And I looked on IMDb, and they call this guy the Arbiter, so I guess maybe they're changing the lore and he's the Arbiter already, or maybe it's a different Arbiter. I don't know. I'm just assuming that they're going the path of least resistance, so it's probably just the Arbiter already. I hate McKee as a character. She was already dead at the end of last season. I don't know why she's still here. It's really annoying, and they use that as a crutch to get Chief out of situations. So it's really annoying in the first episode when he should have died or whatever. They use that as a Deus Ex Machina, and they use it again in this episode, and I don't know how McKee goes from there to there to there. Like, what is she... I don't know. What are her goals here? What is she doing? She's just kind of wandering around wherever the script needs her. Here we got a scene that I kind of like. I like all the extras, and we're bustling them around, and we're trying to evacuate civilians. That's all good. And we got another kind of wonder thing where we're spinning around these guys while they're talking, and then they're like, the suits are gone. We hate the suits. It's like... I think they do resent this in this show. They resent the suits. They resent Halo. They resent Spartans. I really don't think that they're Halo fans writing this stuff. I just don't believe it. And here's another thing that really pisses me off in this episode. They kill off Keys in this episode, and I hate it. I guess we'll wait until we get there, but I can't even look at this dude, man. But yeah, I like Keys in this episode. I mean, he's got the charisma, he's got the leadership. I like, it's a very basic plan, but at least it's something. There's no, like, kind of military strategy. I would have liked to get a little deeper into that. It's just, like, we're perched up here waiting for them, and then we're going to shoot them. I would have liked to see some type of strategy. And I get they got a choke point. That's something, but it's not enough for me. I would have liked to see a little bit more thought put into this. Another Soren and Halsey scene, the big reveal. Perez is just, shell-shocked. She's surrounded by this. She doesn't know what to do. All that's all good. I love the speech here with Keys for the most part. There's one part I don't like, but I like Keys. He's got the charisma. It's the epic speech that you want to hear. It's fine. It's good. It's a little generic, but it's fine. That's all good. And then he brings up Chief, and Chief at first is like, "What are you doing, man? I'm scared to go up there, man." It's like, come on, dude. Why do you gotta do Chief like that? He's not scared of nothing, dude. But the big thing is like, he doesn't need his armor today. He's one of you. This is John. We're getting to learn the real you. Stop it. Just put him in the fucking suit, dude. I hate this show, dude. Even when the show is decent, it's like, fuck you. It hates Halo fans, dude. It wants to piss us off on purpose. That's like their concept in the show. It makes me mad, dude. But it's fine. It's fine. We get some cool action scenes. Here's something. Oh yeah, Soren just kind of floats into the scene, and he's just like, just the tone is so off, bro. Like, all these people are dying. Shit's going really bad. It's just, that's the one thing. It just falls flat in this episode. So flat, dude. And Miranda's not here. That's what we learn in that scene. And now we're getting attacked in the hangar with the civilians. So we're getting attacked from multiple ways. It does feel weird with Chief and them just kind of waiting around. But I like seeing the Scorpion, the tank, and then they shoot off around. It sounded like he said white phosphorus. Is that why are they using white phosphorus? I guess the Geneva Convention isn't a thing, but whatever. So I like the concept of the light from the blast lighting up all the invisible, aliens. That should have been used as a strategy, because we already know the invisible alien thing, like some way to combat that. I would just like a little bit more thought put into stuff. I'm fine with it as is, but a little bit more would be cool. And that's why I can't fully be like, yeah, this is good, beyond just, my Halo fan nitpick stuff. There's more that could have been done with all of this, other than just bam, bam, shooty, shooty, which I'm down with, I guess. Here we got the final hero's sacrifice of the episode. So Keys goes out to unplug the fuel thing because it was still plugged in, and he's getting swarmed, and now the hangar's getting flooded with gasoline. And then he tells Perez to go, and he's like, "You got a light," and all that. And that's, if you have to write him out, it's a decent enough way to do it. He's got a hero sacrifice. One thing that's really stupid is, like, you got a hangar that's filled with gasoline, and, like, I guess this ship has shields, maybe, but it sounds to me like you might blow up the ship while you're at it. So is it really worth? I don't know. It just sounds kind of dumb, but whatever. And then, but if you're not a Halo fan, you don't know why it's annoying to kill off Keys. First of all, I mean, there aren't that many characters on this show. He's one that proved in this episode he's got a little charisma. We kind of like him a little bit. You're just going to write him out like he's nothing. He's not replaceable, dude. Like, who is in the wings to take that leadership role? Like, in the story. Nobody. They have to come up with a new character. 2, this guy has a very specific death scene in the game series, and it's awesome. You're never going to have a cooler death scene than that. And it's devastating, and it was a big twist in the first video game, and it's a big fucking deal. It's not trivial. And they just write that out for nothing. Why is this guy Keys? Why does he have to be Keys? Why can't he have been a different character? You know, they're just spitting in the face of all the fans with this type of stuff, and I hate it, okay? There's no reason to do this. Other than, you know, if you got to write the actor out, he has to leave or has some other obligation, I guess I can accept that. But just recast him, bro. Just recast him. It doesn't matter. I hate this shit, dude. That makes the whole episode, it makes me hate the whole episode. That happening. I really do. And we got Soren, guys. Why couldn't Soren have been the one to get killed off? We don't care about him. We barely care about Chief. We don't care about anybody. We got a cool little fight scene out here, and I love Chief picking up the energy sword and jumping over the barricade. It is kind of reckless, but, you know, he's Chief. It would make more sense if he had fucking armor. It's not a trivial thing, okay? I want him to have fucking armor. I want him to have Cortana in his ear. I want to have all the shit. I don't know. It's so cool to see him have the energy sword, though. And then I'm guessing that this is the Arbiter comes in, and then the Arbiter is about to kill him. One thing, by the way, the Arbiter like is about to stab Chief, or he's about to fight Chief with the swords, and then the guy next to him blows back Chief with a plasma pistol, which doesn't seem like it would be enough, but I don't know, based on Halo fan lore. But I guess it is enough to blow up his shields, and he doesn't have a shield right now, so maybe it is. I don't know. It's not really like explosive like that though, so lore-wise, I didn't like that, but that's fine. But then the Arbiter turns around, he's pissed off, and slices his own guy because he wants to kill Chief for the lulz. I guess he wants to have the glory. But, again, I'm not like a deep lore guy. I haven't read all the backstory of the Arbiter and stuff. But this is a character that eventually, spoiler alert, I guess, turns to our side. In Halo 2, you know, it's Halo 2, right? Where he eventually becomes loyal to the humans. You know, he turns on the Covenant once he finds out the truth about what the Halo rings really do. And then he is fighting alongside us. So he's a character who's going to become a good guy eventually. So I don't know why you want to have him slice off his own dude's head. You know, he's fighting a war against, he thinks is righteous, against his enemies. You know, he, in his own mind, you know, there's a justification there. So yes, he's against us. Yes, you know, we're fighting against him. That's all fine. But you don't want him to be just like cartoonishly evil, right? Not if you're going to have him be a turncoat at some point and be on our side and be somebody that we root for eventually. So that's stupid, in my opinion. And then, you know, he's like, he'll kill his own soldier for doing that. And then McKee tells him not to kill Chief. And then he's like, okay, I guess I'm listening to you, I guess. And McKee's a stupid character anyway, because the Covenant wants to wipe out humanity, but they're all listening to her for no reason. And it's just like, why is she giving orders? And it's just stupid, bro. I hate it. I hate that concept. Spits in the face of Halo fans, you know. But we got this Spartan guy, Pigeon Man. I'm gonna call him Pigeon Man because I don't remember his name, and I'm never going to because he's dead now. Yeah, I like the actor, I must say. He's got charisma. You know, I like him a lot better than the other Spartan lady who's not even in this episode, where she's off somewhere hunting or something. I don't know. I guess we'll see her next week. But they give her more screen time than him. I like this actor a lot more than pretty much anybody else on the show for the most part. So, I don't know. So it pisses me off, and I don't think most of these things are really nitpicks. It's like, you know, as Halo fans are passionate. You can't be mad at Halo fans for being passionate. If you're making a Halo show, like, literally, our passion is the reason your show exists, and you should be grateful. It's not that much to ask, bro. And then this guy dies, and, you know, I don't really care. I guess he's looking up at his pigeon is free. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? I was pissed off by the keys thing. So, I mean, in general, I guess I want to say I liked a lot of this episode, but it pissed me off enough with all the big decisions that they made that I'm still like, fuck this show. I hate this show. So that's my opinion on it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, it's been your boy Shuggy. See you guys on Sunday for The Ones Who Live, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. I'm so excited. I'm binging a lot of the OG Walking Dead just to get ready for it. I got a t-shirt and everything. I'm so excited. Let me know what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys with the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.